Hey, Tom. Acer made poor buying choices, it looks like.
Oh, and I think the stream is up.
Oh, it's back at 100% again. Why is I don't even have Chrome open? Go away, Chrome. Alright. Anyway, start again from the beginning, Acer.
Last time on Goldwing's Black Skies, the squadron returned from training maneuvers over the icy world of Asami, which became a little more live fire than I think you all were planning, or at least your commanders were planning. As it turns out that you all now have at least one kill to your name each. To celebrate that, you all got varying degrees of drunk. Luzette kind of maxed out the meter there. And, I guess that is coming to grips with her past in a way, but for the other three of you, you all had something else come along from your past to throw a wrench into the works. Mahao is going to have to go to dinner with his family.
Sorry.
With his family. Which, would be bad enough if it weren't also for the fact that he has to bring his wingmates with him. That'll be interesting.
So many regrets.
You need to introduce everyone again because it's no longer on this video.
Oh.
Okay. Sorry, Tom. Hello and welcome to Goldwing's Black Skies.
You could just do the introduction after the summary. It's fine.
Alright.
I'm just saying that we need to introduce people.
Okay, this real-time directing thing is kind of tough to deal with, but okay. So, Barry, on the other hand, had to just meet one friend from his past. Unfortunately, that friend presented him with a networking opportunity to meet one of his old bosses, which he may or may not have remembered, Joe Freeman, head of the local organized crime syndicate, who kind of wanted him to do a favor or two in exchange for some off-the-books armament.
Yeah, and I owe him favors in the future, potentially.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
And Micah had some trouble with her wife, Callie, who left a lucrative and interesting job in order to follow her out here. That hasn't stopped Callie from looking for new opportunities, which now includes a job on a survey ship charting hyperspace jump points for the Draconis government. It's not that dangerous. Probably. At least it's not breaking up with her, which is, I think, what she thought originally was about to happen.
Yeah, when she said I met someone, I was concerned.
Yeah, it turns out that she's just doing not xenobiology, but xenonavigation on Bejor. wait, not Bejor. For the Draconis system.
All right. So, the characters in question are played by Megan.
Hey everyone, this is Megan. I'm playing Micah Drexler, a veteran pilot who has a second chance.
Call sign?
A Hydra.
Rob.
Hi, I'm Rob. I'm playing Lucette Zombie Forrester, who may or may not have a drinking problem. She has a drinking. It might be a problem.
It's only a problem if you admit to it. Otherwise, you're fine with it. How are you?
John.
Hi, I'm John. I'm playing Mahai, call sign Mai Tai, a skilled pilot that fights for his family's honor, and will probably besmirch his family honor by bringing his wingmates to dinner.
And Mike.
Hi, everyone. I'm playing Barry Catfish Namazuko, the smarmy space bastard with the devil's own luck. Sometimes the luck is good. Most of the time, it turns out it's bad.
So, you all had your little clandestine meeting, but today we are going to start with the other pair of pilots. Micah, how did your evening end with Callie?
Well, Callie was doing shots with Lucette, and Micah was drinking heavily, so we both just sort of stumbled back home, and avoided talking about important issues like good communicating couples do.
So, the secret is communication.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you wake up the next morning, you have a message waiting in your queue.
Mm-hmm.
It's from the skipper.
All right. What does he want me to do?
You are to report at 0730 to Admiral Harris's office.
All right.
Admiral Harris is commander of the DVG.
That's very important. All right. I will. I have like my old uniforms, right?
Yes.
Like a flight uniform.
Yeah.
So I'll just put one of those on and make sure it's very like neat and orderly, as best I can. I'll probably get Callie's help with that just to make sure that everything's where it should be.
She is a little bleary-eyed, but she will help you put everything on. Are you putting?
Roll a uniform check.
Oh no,
How's your gig line?
I don't even know what that means.
Are you going to wear the flight jacket, or are you sticking with just the flight suit?
Probably just the flight suit. I'm not really sure what would be most appropriate here. She wants to look good in front of the admiral.
All right. Well, in that case, you're probably wearing an actual shipboard uniform, but not just your flight suit.
Okay, yes. I will wear that. I'll get Callie to help me. Callie, before I lost my sight, Callie put up with enough of me doing this sort of stuff, so she knows what it's supposed to look like.
Okay.
And she has a lighter handy in case there's any stray threads poking out from the seams of the uniform. And
Oh, I remember that trick. All right. The same message is waiting for Luzette. Where does Luzette wake up?
I feel like she probably makes it back to her apartment. She's probably on the floor though. It's like swinging next to the bed. Like she's kind of like leaning against it, maybe.
She's like, made it, and collapses like a foot away.
Yeah, the depth perception was a little off. She's just feeling real good this morning. Feeling real good.
plus side, she didn't wake up in the bathtub or slouched over the toilet, so that's something.
She's a professional.
All right. So you have a message as well from Skipper Karen. He wants you to report to Micah at Admiral Harris's office.
Immediately, she starts trying to think back to the previous night, and she's like, "Oh God, what am I in trouble for already? What did I do?" And then, as she's kind of recollecting her night in her head, she finds finds Val's business card. She's like, "Oh, that's right, I got a personal trainer too. No, I've got to exercise.
No, physical fitness.
No." So she will pick herself up off the floor, and she has dress clothes. Probably not a uniform. Probably not a military uniform anyway. Something more like a sci-fi suit. It's probably got a Nehru jacket, that kind of thing.
All right. So you're trying to dress up. You dress to impress.
Yeah, she's gonna make an attempt. She's looking real rundown. But she's gonna try.
All right. So the commander's office is sort of at the, the commander of the Draconis Volunteer Group actually has a very nice office set aside for her use. It's in the middle of the sector of the space station that is now home to Draconis Volunteer Group headquarters. Admiral Harris, you will know, actually, is a veteran of the Galactic War who ended her service with the fleet as commander of all fighter forces in the Republic Third Fleet, which was several hundred pilots. She was the #1 choice for this job, and the Draconis government lobbied hard to get her appointed to the position. Now, when you both are recognized by her assistant, he beckons you over and says, the Chief Dubois and the Admiral are already inside. I think your squadron commander is going to be joining you as well.
Oh, excellent.
Lucette will like half salute. She's still not really sure what the protocol is, so she's like, kind of does a little heel click thing, but it's sort of half-hearted because she doesn't really like. Are we a military? I don't know. We got an admiral, but he's the only one with a rank. I don't know what's going on.
So Admiral Harris looks at you kind of concerned at your... He's like, are you having a fit or something?
No, we're fine, sir.
No, sir. It was a long night, sir.
She is even more concerned that you can't seem to identify her gender.
I thought this was a Battlestar Galactica thing.
No.
All right, fine.
At least everyone else has been calling you ma'am, so...
On the plus side, it's not been Sir Ma'am Sir.
She will gesture you over to seats at a conference table where there is another man already waiting for you. Where there is a man waiting for you. You've got me doing it now, too. Can I offer you a drink or something? Coffee? It looks like you two need coffee.
Coffee would be great, ma'am. Thank you.
She'll gesture.
Oh yes, please.
She'll gesture for her assistant to go fetch you coffee. You are not offered cream or sugar. It will be black.
It's the only way to drink it.
This is James Dubois. He's the chief of security here at Draconis Station. He's responsible for ensuring that the law and order is respected. And he's come to me with some very troubling allegations.
How did they find out so fast?
Yeah, Lucette is already like shifting uncomfortably because she still thinks she's in trouble.
Like, this is what happens when you go to a military function and do it. They find out immediately.
Wait. Dubois looks very earnest and otherwise entirely too young to be in his position. When you think, chief of security, you think like battle-scarred old warhorse of a detective or a chief of police that's used to wheeling and dealing. This guy's barely out of his 20s, probably.
Perfect.
Thank you both for coming. I understand that you're both held in very high regard, and so I'm glad you're being assigned to this case.
Oh, yeah. It's a real honor, I think.
It is an honor. I'm not sure what case we're talking about.
Well, yeah. He looks to Harris, who nods, and he turns on a monitor and flicks through a couple of preliminary slides.
It's so bright.
Behold, OLED technology. The preliminary slides that have like all of your traditional like boilerplate, confidential, do not redistribute sorts of warning messages, and then he gets to the first real meat, which is a image of a very jovial looking man that looks like it was taken somewhat semi-discreetly in a restaurant. This man is named Joe Freeman.
He can't keep a lid on it this early. What? He deserves to get caught. What the hell?
Is he actually describing to me what's on the screen, or am I just like staring at nothing?
He's very bad at this.
Okay, will you please tell me what's going on?
We are investigating a gentleman who is reputed to be a major player in the smuggling of several different types of contraband. This image on the screen was taken by one of my investigators through a confidential informant. He says that Freeman has been bringing in military-grade weapons for distribution through black market channels. This is obviously something that could be very destabilizing to the Draconis government, particularly if the wrong people were to get their hands on weapons that are honestly among the most powerful in the system. I want to take him down. Especially because of what I heard recently.
And what's that?
I heard, and I can't tell you from whom yet, mind you, that there are individuals within the DVG who are working with this man.
That sounds pretty despicable.
Yes, exactly. Now, I know this is an important venture, he says, looking at the Admiral. With the look of someone who seems very aware of the fact that she could probably kill him pretty easily.
Like he's worried she's going to just step out of her chair and like cut his throat, or that she has the power to order someone else to cut his throat?
Either or.
Yes.
Because, the DVG is kind of in an interesting position right now. This is Acer talking to you. There is no other major military power currently operating in the Draconis system. The Draconis Navy consists of 4 converted spaceships that started life out as freighters. The Draconis Navy's fighter corps consists of a couple dozen people that meet in a classroom every day on the planet's surface. You guys are it. And so most people are at least willing to consider you a necessary evil. You've heard of this Dubois guy, at least, from grumbling among the other pilots at the Spacer's Rest. he loves nothing more than coming down hard on pilots who step out of line, particularly when they venture beyond the bounds of the Draconis volunteer group's part of the station. But all of a sudden, he's latched on to this Freeman guy, and you think that actually, give me an empathy roll.
It's my best stat.
I'm fine with 8 dice. Ooh, I rolled a +3, so I get a +5 total.
Nice.
It's only a 2 for me.
You think that while some other people might be looking at this as an opportunity to leverage the Draconis volunteer group's independent mindset against a retrenched criminal power, he is more concerned probably with actually using Freeman's corruption of elements of the DVG to get you guys into trouble.
Oh, he's like the asshole in the Ghostbusters movies. Yes, it's true. This man has no penis.
He's saying all of the right things about the need to secure the system and threats to national sovereignty, but he sees you guys as the biggest troublemakers on the station.
We haven't even made any trouble yet.
Guilt by association.
That's not fair.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a pretty good start already, so I mean, that's fair.
I'm going to give you access to our communications channels so that you can report in with anything that you find or that you encounter that you believe is suspicious. And I'd like you to keep our investigators apprised of any suspicious activity that you observe during your doing your duties. We might also ask you to make contact with some people we believe are involved in these criminal activities.
Well, we're more than happy to take care of that. Anything to keep criminals off the station.
I'm very glad that you're willing to put yourselves in harm's way like this.
That's why we signed up.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you, Chief, the Admiral says, pointedly looking at the door. He'll clear his throat, sort of shuffle his data cards and pack everything away in his case before getting up and walking out. She looks at the two of you for a solid 10 seconds before she pushes a button on her desk and you see the door he walked through lock behind him.
Is she bringing out the creamer and sugar finally?
She's recording it.
No, she's bringing out the bourbon.
Oh, thank God. Even better.
And the
Exactly
other
what I need.
slideshow that she doesn't want Dubois to know about.
Does this one have alt tags on the images?
She sends you a copy.
Uh-huh.
It's fully marked up.
Perfect.
Aria 70.0.
These are the quality accessibility jokes everyone comes to TRF Podcast for.
I long
And
as
if
not
you don't
like-
understand the jokes, just Google them. You'll expand your horizons.
Yeah, she come to us for pointed political commentary that is 3 years ahead of its time,
Behind.
and very bad accessibility and programming jokes.
Well, sometimes the political commentary was ahead of its time. Like when we made jokes about the President Trump hellscape, like
In
2
like
years before Trump got
2014.
elected.
Yeah, they were just jokes back then.
Yes, and now it's reality.
So,
P.S. Emigrate to Canada. Canada. It takes a year, but it's worth it. Everyone do that. We
We
have
got plenty of
Canada.
space.
We do. And we're very friendly.
You're killing me. You know you can't edit this in post, right?
actually, we can.
We can't edit what's going on YouTube unless I do it, which I will not because
Oops.
I am lazy.
All right.
And also, we're live.
Okay.
Hello.
This has been Enemy of the People. Ace told you.
This has been Mike. You can't extradite me, motherfuckers. I'm Canadian.
I think we have new sign-offs. Okay. Anyway, so the projector does come back on.
Damn it.
But all it's going through is images of weapons. And she says, "You're not missing anything, Drexler. It's just for..." Sorry, Rob. What's Suzette's last name? Forrester?
Forrester.
This is just for Miss Forrester's benefit. These are some of the weapons that we think that Freeman has brought onto the station. We've got a couple... There's a report that a shipment of Vortex missiles that was bound for a reserve unit stationed a few systems away just disappeared. This is something that honestly used to happen quite a bit. Nobody really minded, because the idiots who would end up buying the crap wouldn't have the wherewithal to properly maintain any of it or use it in any real effective way, so they would just end up squandering a bunch of money to weigh themselves down with crap that would be ballast when we eventually caught up to them and shot them down. The problem is that with Draconis being the Wild West, apparently, I don't know if you get the reference, but he's really opening up the opportunity for people we really don't want getting their claws back into this system. And they're going to do it through some of those self-same assholes who won't have the Republic fleet to worry about. There'll just be 3 squadrons of Blackfish against whatever the hell he can scrape together. Whatever the hell they can scrape together. Which is whatever the hell he could scrape together to sell them. So, I need you to make this problem go away, and I need to make it happen in such a way that Dubois doesn't get what he wants.
Hey, Acer.
Yes.
Would now be a good time for Barry to spend a fate point to have an email pop up on Micah's device saying, "Hey, boss lady, we need to talk about some of my some demons that have resurged from the past and some resources that we may be receiving soon. I don't like this any more than the next person. I'll explain better in person. Freeman's an asshole."
I'll take that fate point.
I'm gonna pour more bourbon in my coffee.
Luckily, you have, the the equivalent of a Bluetooth headset, so that doesn't just get read out loud into the room.
No, it'd be way funnier if it was voiceover into the room. And everyone
The way
hears it.
funnier if it was projected like Leia, Princess Leia.
Hey, Mike, do you want your fate point back?
I mean, the fate point is out in the air. What happens to it afterwards is up to you guys.
No, I would prefer that not be the case.
All right, I will take a fate point from you for that not to happen.
I hate you, Acer. I just want you to know that. Real talk.
This is the way fate should be. Because the goal of fate is to have things as complicated as possible for the players.
Yes, so that'll be one fate point.
Or, sorry, not the players, the characters. The players revel in the horrible things that happen to the characters.
So, Micah, you now have this this ticking time bomb of an email that has been delivered into your inbox.
I wish I had not gotten that email. I think. And say, well, we'll be sure to get to the bottom of this and try to take care of it. So you're the real winner in all this, Admiral.
You know, I heard some good things about you, but shame we didn't get to fly together.
Well, maybe someday we'll get you back in a. Just completely forgot what they're called.
Blackfish.
Maybe someday we'll get you back in a blackfish.
Yeah, well, I'll dig myself out of this mountain of paperwork one of these days. Good luck.
Thank you. I'm going to take the coffee cup with bourbon with me. I'll return it later if she wants it back.
I mean, hey, free coffee cup.
Oh, and two of you. Good flying out there.
Thank you, Admiral.
Thank you, ma'am. And she's gonna down the rest of her coffee because, gosh, she needed the coffee and the bourbon.
All right, so now we snap back in time.
Whoa!
Diddle-oo, diddle-oo, diddle-oo.
8 hours earlier, Mahau and Barry, you are now standing alone in that warehouse where you intercepted Freeman. They've since moved on. Proceed.
Okay, so I think the last thing I said was, "You're not putting one of those things in my ship." So at this point, I don't think I need to reiterate how much trouble you're going to get us in.
Barry's hands are covering his face. He's hunched over like, fuck. Okay. That bastard Carlisle has had it in for me ever since I scooped a deal out from underneath him. This is all his fault. Okay. New leaf. This is partially my fault also because I did smuggling for that ass face also, but fuck. Okay. I'm going to send an email to Micah, delayed so it'll arrive at like 8 in the morning because she'll probably be awake by then. If I do it right now, she'll, like, from the looks of things, she'll be too drunk to actually do anything with it, and things may go poorly. Fuck. Ah.
Yeah, I think that's wise. She may do something rash if she receives it while she's intoxicated.
But I gotta make sure that she knows, though. Like, I didn't want my past to catch up with me like this. I mean, it's the instant we use any of this armament, we're hooped because all of that came from somewhere. And I didn't ship it, but as soon as we actually use it, we're in with the mob. And like I'm trying to do right by the Draconis system because it's where my stuff is. And I'm trying to do actual good for it instead of making it a giant cesspit like the ice ball I grew up on is. So
I mean, can't you just turn it in and say we found the stolen goods? Or what we believed were stolen goods?
You get a fate point
They
for
are
that
stolen
because that
goods.
is just adorably naive. Can't we just, give it back?
see, the problem is that Carlisle was here before us, which means Carlisle has had the time to make connections with people on the ground, which means Carlisle has people that can vouch for him. Carlisle is the person that got us into this mess in the first place by alerting Mr. Freeman of my presence and as a pilot.
Well,
Which means whatever we do, even if we don't necessarily notify everyone that Freeman is doing all of this, we gotta be careful about how we hose Carlisle. We're gonna hose Carlisle. He is going down for this. Make no mistake. But I'd rather not have the entire squadron boned in the meantime.
well, you implicated the both of us by taking them.
I know you're Mr. Big Fighty and all, but you did see all the people around us with guns, right?
That doesn't change the truth. By taking them, we are now implicated, whether it was a choice or not.
The most I can do right now is that we know the people that are implicated in this. If we come out to Micah and like maybe one of the people that we can trust in the chain of command. I mean, the skipper seemed like a pretty cool fellow. Like if we come out to them and say, "Hey, one of my specters from the past is trying to blackmail me. Help." They may be able to throw us a bone.
Why don't you both give me notice rolls?
Okay. That's something I'm actually not bad at, so hooray. The dice have moderately betrayed me in that I saw 2 pluses and was happy, and then I saw 2 negatives and was sad. So that's a +3.
I have a +3 as well.
Actually, I am going to spend a fate point now because I have the Devil's Own Luck, and part of having the Devil's Own Luck is that I can't escape by the skin of my teeth if I don't notice the thing coming in to kill me.
All right, I will give you a boost.
Oh, I also have Danger Sense, if that helps.
Yes, I will give you a boost as... Let's see, actually, for that amount of success, I will give you a boost and tag your attackers with the aspect of pack mentality with a free invoke for either of you to use. There are 5 guys that have sort of moved in through the loading door that Freeman's people moved out of. They look like they're wearing cast off personal armor, the kind that would be useful for boarding operations or for hazardous environment work. It looks like, it has some ablative coatings or and some reactive patches that would help deflect incoming fire. Some of it looks like it's already seen some decent use. So these people probably weren't the first users of this armor. But
So
it's
kind of armor that looks like it's some of it is armor plate, some of it is just open honeycombs kind of
yeah.
thing.
And so it's good enough for them in that they probably couldn't afford or find better. They have in their hands a pretty random collection of slug throwers and blasters. And these guys just scream like off-brand freedom fighter to you.
Wait, isn't Draconis off-brand freedom fighter?
Oh, no, they're brand name freedom fighter.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
on-brand freedom fighters.
These guys are like counter-revolutionaries.
Well, as I see people approaching us with guns, I will immediately engage the nearest group.
All right.
Yeah, Barry will start to subvocalize to Mahal, like, and then he realizes that, oh, he already knows.
He's already started shooting. Give me a. Are you going to shoot or are you going to use fight? What would you like to do?
I am going to do like an athletic move, like with like a cartwheel, tumble roll right up into the midst of a group of them, if there's a group of them at all.
Yeah,
If they're foolish enough not to have spread out.
yeah, they are foolish enough not to have spread out. They're still coming through the door, and we're relying on superior mass to carry the day.
All right. So if the ones coming through the door, I will try to, I guess, I'm doing something athletic to try to get into an advantageous position to take them out.
Okay, so you can use this to create advantage.
Okay. So I'm going to use athletics.
Okay.
And since I'm Shinzo Mizu warrior trained, I get a +2 for creating an advantage with athletics.
All right. Beat a 2.
So I have an 8.
All right. So
I was going to mention something, but I don't need to now, I don't think.
you succeed with style twice. So 3 free invokes. Or no, 3 free invokes.
Can we just say he landed it? He rolled a land.
I mean, that is, I pulled a landing.
All right. The invoke you, or the aspect you, or the advantage you create is strike, as you basically just bowl them over. Their formation is entirely disrupted. To the extent that they had a formation, they are completely disoriented, and now Catfish can take full advantage of this, as it were.
Okay. So Catfish is going to whip out his monofilament blade, and he's going to start stabbing some mofos.
All right.
Because anyone that comes in after something like this, especially after Mai Tai just bowls them over, yeah, it's time to slice and dice.
Okay, so right now you have the strike advantage with 3 free invokes. You have pack mentality with a free invoke, and you have a boost.
Okay. So I'll use the boost for sure for accuracy, if that matters. This is one of the systems where there isn't a difference really between accuracy and damage unless it's a specific weapon, correct?
Yeah, well, weapon damage only counts after the roll.
Okay, so this will definitely be for accuracy. I'll tag both the boost and pack mentality. And yeah, I'll tag one of the strikes just to strike fear in their hearts.
All right, so you're sitting at a +6 without your fight roll.
Yep, because my fight roll is my base fight is +1. That is not bad. So I got a +1 on the dice, so that's 2 plus 6 is 8.
All right, they rolled a 0.
It's a weapon 2 on successful fight attacks.
So
That's 10.
that's a difference of 10, so that's 1 success and 3 extra. There's 1 guy left by the time you're done slicing and dicing.
Barry looks to
So
Mai Tai, but
wait
by
a
Mai
second.
Tai I mean the Cameron. I say off to the races.
Wait a second before you do that. I need you to describe what happens when 5 guys with assorted ranged weapons run into a very fast-moving former smuggler with a monofilament blade.
Since Barry is athletic, but he's not the best at fighting, a lot of it is Barry literally holding the blade out like he's in an anime. So instead of holding it like this, like he should, he's holding it hilt, like blade down close to his wrist, and he's just running past them and slicing into them as he dashes past, kind of in a zigzag pattern.
Okay.
So he's more going for femoral arteries and vulnerable points than center of mass kind of thing.
Yes. So this normally shouldn't work this well. I mean, to be honest, to be literal, realistically, this should not work this well. But after
but Barry's anime.
But after the setup you've gotten from Mahao, who's just completely disoriented these people, got them all turned around, people literally run into your blade.
Yeah, in Barry's mind, he's doing this really cool slicing thing as he runs by. In reality, it's him running up to people that Mahao has knocked over and slicing into them and dashing to the next person. Just a series of really dirty coup de grace.
All right. So Mahao, the one guy that's left, is going to try to take a shot at you with his blaster pistol.
Okay.
This man is a death wish.
He does. He rolled a 4.
All right. So do I defend with fight or athletics, or I guess
Actually,
they're
wait.
shooting at me, so I'm not sure.
Ah, crap. How do you defend against a shoot attack? Give me athletics.
Yeah,
Give me athletics.
Athletics is usually the catch-all for dodging.
Okay.
If it's fight, you can defend with fight or athletics, but
Okay.
for shooting, it's usually athletics.
Can you check the skill chapter, somebody?
All right.
Sure.
Well, If it's athletics, I have a 4. If it's fight, I have a 3.
All right, roll athletics.
I'm sorry. That was I rolled a +1, so with athletics, I have a 4 total.
Oh, okay.
There's still a bunch of free invokes of strike.
Yeah, I would take.
Athletics is dodging blaster fire.
Okay, so yeah. Hey, sometimes I'm right about these random guesses. All right.
So his attack was a 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I guess I'll use one of the invokes because right now it's a tie, so that means they get some sort of.
Yeah, they would get some sort of advantage on you. But instead, while he is lining up the perfect shot, one of the people who's almost been cleaved in twain by Barry as he went scurrying by, falls on his back and shoves him down, and the blaster bolt goes between your legs as you stare him down.
Okay, so he fell forward towards me.
Yes.
All right. So is it my turn?
Yes.
When he falls forward towards me, I do what any good martial arts would do, and I will do like a front flip into a leg drop and kick him in the head, driving his face into the hard Durasteel floor or whatever it's made out of.
Seems thematically appropriate for it to be Durasteel, yes.
So, or at least that's what I'll attempt to do.
All right.
And that'll be a fight check, I assume.
Yep.
All right, so that's gonna be, I rolled a 1, so with fight that makes 3, and then I'm gonna use my free invoke for the strike to make it 5.
He is down.
Barry looks up, completely covered in blood that isn't his, and says, I think I'm going to need a wardrobe change before I meet your parents.
I don't think it was necessary to kill them. It would have been, they're easy enough to disable them.
Yeah, but the more that are down now, the less that come after us later. And this sends a message to the other bastards that if they try to come for us, they're going to be shut down.
Do we even know who they are?
Barry starts picking at them and starting to pull out, trying to find identification. Probably like off-brand freedom fighters for the baddies, like the kind of thing where they don't like that we're independent and want to be part of the giant hellacious combine, so they want to yoke us like they've been yoked, that kind of thing. Barry says, looking through one of the guys' wallets, taking whatever money's inside.
Well, I'm contacting security. At least one of them alive. Maybe there's some information we can get from him.
Take a fave point, Mike, for robbing the dead.
I'm rewarding this behavior, Acer.
Yes. Also, give me a notice roll.
Okay.
Did you roll them back and forth to get the loose change?
You have to hit them until money comes out, guys. Come on. Ooh. That is a fantastic notice roll, a +6.
All right. You find that this guy apparently was the sentimental sort. And he has his old ID card that identifies him as Walter Killian, political officer. He used to be assigned to Dracona Station.
Used to be, you say?
Well, there was this thing that happened about a year ago.
Oh, like, so political officer for the old regime kind of thing.
Yes.
Gotcha. Well, it seems that we have some, and Barry kind of taps the cards in his hand. We do indeed have some dissenters that are angry with the new boss.
Yes. I hate to say this. I really hate to say this, but could it be possible that we could pin your ill-gotten loot on them?
Yes, very much so. Yes.
You agreed far too quickly.
Man, you have been hanging out with me entirely too long. I have started to rub off on you far too fast, my dude.
Well, I figure, like, out of character, so I Catfish has my absolute trust, so.
Mahal, you get a fate point. Meanwhile, back in Harris's office, 8 hours later, as you are leaving her office, you hear the comm go off, and then the door closes. And as you're passing through her, like the anteroom, the assistant comes running up to you and says, "Excuse me, Commander, the Admiral would like to see you again."
Oh, all right. I'll turn around and go back.
Deja vu. I thought we just did this.
Plus, I had free coffee.
I'm gonna finish my coffee / bourbon.
And tank up for a refill?
Yeah.
All right. She has the screen on again. And Luzette, what's that?
How useful.
Yes. Luzette, what you see is a number of bodies and parts of bodies.
Oh my. Those people are very messy.
What's going on?
A bunch of dismembered dudes.
In the office?
Oh no, on the screen. That'd be really fast to happen in the office.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Commander. Harris will say. But it looks like whatever is going on here is just gotten worse. Dubois, one of his investigators, passed this up the chain. It's taken a while for them to figure out what the hell is involved, but the warehouse where this happened, she will advance the slides, was in one of the less reputable parts of the station, and it looks like it was a transshipment point for at least a few of those stolen vortex missiles we were talking about. This has just become your top priority, Commander.
I see. Well, I suppose we'll head down there and see what we can find.
Thank you. I appreciate your discretion.
What about the rest of our flight? Can we bring them in on this?
If you think they can be trusted. I mean, I went to you because your record is, quite honestly, impeccable. There's no one else in the group with the sort of integrity you've demonstrated.
Right. My great integrity.
And as for Ms. Forrester, I happen to know that once bought, she stays bought. You have very good references.
Well, perhaps it'd be better to keep it between us for now.
Very good.
I kind of feel bad about these people having to associate with the human trash fire that is Barry.
That means that Acer has succeeded.
Oh, this is completely okay for Mai Tai.
No, I feel terrible for Mai Tai.
I mean, we beat them in battle. That means we got their stuff, right?
I'm like, I'm not even gonna be able to make eye contact at dinner.
It's probably better that way.
Been on the station for a day. He's been a party to multiple homicide and smuggling, arms smuggling.
Oh, don't forget, obstruction of justice, destruction of evidence. All the
right.
All the little tangential crimes that go along with the big ones. Several different confusing interlocking counts of conspiracy. Some of which are actually at odds with each other.
On the plus side, even if Barry dies, it's like he'll live on in the podcast forever.
That's right.
Only the destruction he caused. Only the destruction he caused.
Where does Mahal wake up?
Oh, I wake up in my bed.
All right. How did you sleep?
I mean, I slept like someone who did their job and kept his team as much out of trouble as he possibly could. So, pretty good. I usually reserve my anxiety for the waking hours.
You have to reassess in the stark artificial light of morning on a space station what as out of trouble as you possibly could now means. But otherwise, everything's fine.
So I at least kept Micah and the set from being implicated in this mess. So I have to, being someone who's in like military trained, we have to assess this as a mixed success.
All right. What about Barry? Where does Barry wake up?
So let's roll back a bit to before Barry actually goes to bed. Barry, before he actually, as soon as he gets into the house, or his cues, his apartment, whatever you want to call it, finds a garbage bag, tosses all the clothes that he was wearing at the time of the party last night, tosses them into the garbage bag, puts on a fresh set, goes, finds a incinerator somewhere. He's sneaky enough that he knows where that may be just from being around.
Give me a sneak roll.
Okay. Huh. I don't actually have that skill. But you know what I do have? The Devil's Own Luck. Oh, Mike, the player has the Devil's Own Luck. I'm spending a fate point to make that a +5.
All right. So
because I rolled a +3.
You succeed at finding an unguarded waste dump in one of the industrial parts of the station that looks like some people have actually forgotten about, to the extent that they've actually even decommissioned a lot of the security cameras in this part of the station. This might be a good place to remember for eventualities.
Barry will remember this.
Waypoint
added to quick maps.
Telltale disappears from public memory.
So yeah, Barry is going to quickly, using using some of the garments that he's going to burn. No, he's using the sleeve of the new shirt that he has that isn't covered in blood to open the latch of the incinerator to dump in all of the bloody clothes. And then he stays and kind of turns it on, trundles off to hide in an out of the way spot for a bit, for about as much time as it would take to make sure that they're burned, goes in, checks to make sure they're burned, and then goes, and then leaves once he's sure that it's all burnt.
All right.
Once he gets back to his apartment, he changes out of the clothes that he had just changed into, has a very hot shower, leans up against the walls for a bit and goes, why can't it all just fucking stop for one fucking week? And then turns shower off, towels off, goes into bed, sleeps the sleep of a person that knows that they are damned probably forever.
I just love how
There is
all that
living,
happened.
no rest for the wicked.
I just love how all that happened and you're completely covered in blood and had to do all that. And it's just like, I probably barely got a wrinkle on my uniform. Folded it up and just went to bed.
That's that's the problem with monofilament blade. They just spray blood everywhere.
All right.
I mean, so a bit of context for that. One of the drawbacks for monofilament blade is that it's dangerous to its wielder.
Yeah.
I'm counting that as not just dangerous in fights, dangerous in the after effects.
Hey, you gotta pay for that +2 damage somehow.
Yup.
So, you have a lot of things to take care of to get ready for this dinner, Mahal. But you also have to fly a couple hours as part of the combat air patrol. So, everybody in Tiki Flight, at about 1000 hours, regardless of what you're doing, you get a message from a magnet that says that you're to report for briefing at 1300 hours.
Oh, I assumed I was going to go and knock on Catfish's door right after my meeting with Admiral Harris.
Okay, so that's where you're headed.
Mm-hmm.
Are you taking Luzette with you?
No.
Okay. Luzette, where are you going?
She probably won't go to the scene of the crime without Hydra, so she's probably gonna take a nap. I mean, not super exciting, but I feel like she's probably taking a nap.
That's probably a good idea.
Because it's gonna be a long day.
I mean, Mai Tai would have been up since 600, 630. So if you just wanted to do some extra exercise or spar, he'd be available. I'm sure if you don't want to take the nap, this is an option.
I also was considering having her go visit her personal trainer because she's set up the personal trainer now.
Oh, that's true.
I don't know. Right
yeah,
after you
Val.
drank a bunch doesn't seem like the best time to see a personal trainer.
Probably not.
Yeah. Like she feels like death warmed over. Like exercise is super not the top of her list right now. She's like, oh, I'm just gonna like curl up under the bed.
So, Acer,
Yep.
Is there a place for is there like an exercise place on the station, or if I wanted to jog, would I have to like jog around the station?
There's a Gold's Gym.
Yeah. there are actually several gyms on the station.
Okay,
Or you could do laps around the docking ring.
I'll do that. That seems like I'll get to learn the place other than the seedy areas where I have to apparently fight for my life.
Yeah, that's where you grind for XP.
Right. Yeah, because I'm just like going through the motions, like, yeah, had to kill some people. That happens sometimes. Okay. Can't mess up my routine. I'm nothing without a routine.
All right, so you can go jog around the docking ring. You can see the station come to life as you count the kilometers go by. The ships start coming in to offload. Other ships are powering up and setting off on their daily rounds.
One sec. I'll be right back. Someone's knocking at my door.
Okay. And Luzette has returned for a nap. And we'll wait for Mike to come back because the next bit is going to be with Micah.
Micah gets an email from Lucette, and all it says is, "Do you think they call her Magnet because she draws enemy fire or because she's attractive?"
Both. It's an important question from the comments. How many hot yoga studios are there?
There are 3.
Okay, good.
Lucette sends back a winky face.
There's also this new thing, Absolute Zero Yoga.
Oh no. Do not
Where
want.
you have to try to perform yoga at like negative 240 degrees C.
Okay, I am into that.
Cold yoga.
The coldest yoga.
Excuse me, it's like negative 273 degrees, right?
That's Kelvin, yeah.
Yeah.
I assume there would be vodka.
I'm back.
Like, why else would you go? All right, so Barry. At some point in the morning, Val went off to go, be a personal trainer, and then someone starts knocking at your door.
Just like a long, persistent, unending knock. That sounds angry.
Barry gets up. He's probably wearing an extremely fluffy bathrobe with bunny slippers and opens the door already saying, "Val, did you forget your key?" "Oh, hi, Micah."
Will you please explain to me what's happening in this email?
His eyes widen and he goes, "Oh, shit, right. Come in. And he closes the door once you're in and locks it. Coffee?
Only if you have some bourbon.
I mean, I've got Space Canadian Club. Does that count? It's
Yes.
whiskey.
That's fine.
Sure.
I have my
I
mug
don't
still.
know why they call it Space Canadian Club. Like, Canada still exists somewhere. This is weird. Why is my nose bleeding?
New
Oh, wait.
Canada.
That'll be a fate point thing.
Yep, I will gladly pay the toll.
That's how I'm going to try to impose order on this game. There is a toll.
It's the only way I will learn otherwise. Okay, so have you talked to Mai Tai at all?
No. Should I
Okay.
be mad at Mai Tai too?
No, he's innocent in all of this. So, long story short, one of the ground crew for our ships has an in for the mob, and they tried to strong arm us into owing them a favor with vortex missiles. Joe Freeman is the local mob boss. And basically afterwards, a group of them tried to kill us, and we disagreed strenuously
Mm-hmm.
and got the hell out of Dodge.
You see, this morning I had a meeting with the Admiral, and she asked me to investigate who in the DVG might have connections to a monster named Freeman, and put an end to that, and also to figure out who murdered a bunch of people.
Well, it's not murder if it's self-defense.
Why didn't you call station security?
Because I had gotten called out by someone that was part of our ground crew, and I wasn't sure if station security was in on it.
This,
I mean, so, and Barry info dumps Hydra, Micah with all of the stuff that happened.
Also, make sure you emphasize how Mai Tai thought we should have contacted security.
Yeah.
Micah's just like pinching the bridge of her nose, like this is a nightmare that she hopes she's going to wake up from soon.
And Barry recognizes that and goes, "Yeah, I slept for Shed also. Yeah."
Micah,
Mm-hmm.
you get an email.
Who gets a fate
Uh-oh.
point?
What's that?
Who gets the fate point?
What's that? Oh,
I'm just now associating all emails with fate points.
no, there isn't a fate point for this one. Actually, Micah, you get a text message. I got the job, smiley face.
I'm having a
Oh.
very bad day.
That sounds like a different text tone than the ones you usually get. Was that wifey?
Yes, it was Callie. She got a new job. It's fine. I'm very happy for her.
Oh, nice. Ooh, I can tell that. Yeah. Ooh boy.
We don't need to talk about this.
Barry nods and has a high enough rapport to know, like, I am going to keep my mouth shut and just offer more whiskey.
I will take the whiskey. The Admiral wants us to work out this problem with Freeman without giving the security guy what he wants.
Oh, Dubois.
Yes.
Well, and Barry fishes out his wallet and takes out from inside of it a different wallet. Well, this is one of the people that attacked us, if that helps.
Did you rob them? This isn't really helping your self-defense defense.
I mean, I took it to help with the investigation that we're part of.
You didn't know that then.
I'm very new to this whole above board thing.
All right, well, just give it to me. I'll say we found it. My impeachable conduct will be fine after this, I'm sure.
I mean, don't. Barry kind of holds his head a bit, and like, don't ruin your career for me.
No,
Like-
we'll work
Like
this out.
I know that I literally know that I am human garbage. I'm trying to compress my horrid trash self into something that can be actually useful to society instead of just draining from it. But don't drag yourself down
First of all,
if I get into trouble.
I don't think you know how to use the word literally properly. And secondly, we're going to take care of each other in this squadron.
Speaking of taking care of each other, it's now 1000 hours, which means that you all get a message. In the case of Luzette, it overrides your Do Not Disturb function on your phone. It informs you that you are to report at 1300 hours for a mission briefing.
So when we're off doing patrols and stuff, are our conversations recorded?
You can bet your ass.
Okay. Just important to know before we start talking about murder in space.
So there are a couple of ways around that. You can, if one of you is particularly gifted technically, you can set up a communications circuit that is highly encrypted or highly directional so that it only would reach the people you want it to reach. So basically, if you take like a laser and you point it at another ship and you just shine it at that ship, and you're close enough to them, then it will only ever hit that ship. So that's one way of communicating that won't be intercepted. It literally cannot be intercepted because you'd have to be between the two ships to receive the signal.
Literally.
Yeah.
I think it seems a lot simpler for us just to have whispered conversations and shipping containers.
That would probably be true.
All right. Let's go to our briefing then. Well, yeah. Head to
Well,
the
we got a
briefing.
couple hours, right?
Oh, if we have time, then I guess I'll go pretend to investigate the scene and miraculously find this wallet that fell under something, even though I'm blind.
Do you call Lucette in on this? If not, she's taking a bubble bath. That's
No, I'll call Lucette in on this part. I didn't want to involve her with what Catfish had to say, just in case it'd be possible to keep her out of it.
Yeah,
Lucette, do you have
so-
investigate?
nope.
I have it at +1.
All right, give me an investigate roll.
Should I also investigate?
No, this is actually the reverse of investigate.
Obfuscate.
I got a 1 total. Let's see. None of my aspects are really going to help me with this.
Is that strike aspect still around?
No, it is not.
Yeah, I
What
had
is fair,
investigated.
right?
If you had have brought me along, I would be able to give you a +1.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Sorry, I can't have the internet open.
Yeah, +2 is fair. Yeah.
Oh,
Right now.
no, that's mediocre.
+1 is average.
Average.
Oh, average. So it's an average success.
I got a nothing, but I could spend a fate point for on your 6 because I've got Hydra's back.
All right. That
So,
will.
would you have invited Mai Tai, or will he be left out of this?
No, I'm leaving my tie out of this for now because
All right. If you pay in your fate point there, Rob, you catch Luzette, or you catch Micah about to plant evidence within clear line of sight of a working surveillance camera.
like pulling something out of her pocket, clearly about to drop it.
I'm behind like a crate, but there's 3 cameras pointing it at me.
So
Lucette will just like real discreetly like catch her arm by like the bicep and be like, "You might not want to do that at this moment."
Oh, all right.
There's a camera up there.
Oh, shit. I always forget about the cameras.
okay. So you have successfully planted that evidence. Congratulations.
Okay, now find the evidence. Find it, zombie, find it.
All right. Now there are a couple of ways for you to go about getting away from this train wreck.
We're doing beautifully.
The most direct approach would probably be to just tip Dubois off.
But if we could somehow frame Dubois, like personally, plot twist.
Plot twist: Dubois was the one doing it all along.
Like, tip him off about the wallet or tip him off about Catfish?
About the wallet. Or you could tip him off about Catfish, too. That would be interesting. I'd give you 2 fake points for that.
No, she's still...
Well, then we just fake his death, and then we get a new squad member.
This is our squad member, Flounder, also a bottom feeder.
Oh. Is this still up?
Barry just shaves his mustache and has glasses on.
You just changed the mustaches.
You just put on the Groucho Marx glasses and your 2 mustaches.
Oh,
I thought he
can't
was going for a
possibly be
goatee.
the same guy.
Full goatee and go mirror universe.
We're going to go with the you can't possibly be that stupid strategy.
Yeah.
You just need to change your part.
She thinks about it for a bit and then goes, nah.
All right.
If only everyone else was also blind.
So, who are you? So, are you going to talk to Dubois, or are you just going to leave it to luck for them to find this? Or
Well, I don't know how I would probably try to do something to draw his attention to the wallet while I was there.
all right, give me a rapport roll.
I am good at this. Hopefully. Lost today.
I lost
Stand
all the
3 feet in
characters.
front of it and call him over to you.
I got a +4,
Nice.
which
He
is
did not get that.
great.
So, oh my God, how did you find this?
My cane bumped against it when I was walking around this area over here. I think maybe someone tried to take it and they dropped it on their way out.
Wow, stealing from the dead, that's low.
Barry sneezes.
Hey, Richter, didn't you search this sector? Yeah, you're fired.
Oh no, how many babies does he have at home?
3.
No, Richter.
Richter Mortis.
So, no joke, I rolled the fate dice and it did roll 3 pluses. So, yeah, he has 3 kids.
What would you do if he had -3?
Oh
His
man,
wife
that
had
would
3
be even more
If it was
traumatizing.
-3, he'd be divorced and have that many kids that he's supporting for child support.
There we go, that makes sense.
All right. So, you just got a detective kicked off the detective squad.
Damn it. My moral
He was
character.
probably a jerk call anyway.
Yeah, but he worked for the dirtbag though, so I think we're okay with this.
Okay.
But okay, so you have redirected attention away from Catfish and Mahau. Catfish and Mai Tai. As I will continue to mix character names and call signs forever. And occasionally throw in player names just for fun.
You should definitely start naming NPCs Rob and Mike and Megan and John just to make it more confusing.
For sure.
Definitely. All right. So your briefing turns out to be for a combat air patrol sweep. It's going to be a very boring couple of circuits around Draconis and Draconis Station. There was supposed to be in the schedule a slot there. This slot in the schedule was supposed to be filled by a flight from Tachyon Squadron, but they're down a couple of ships, so...
They have those goblins.
Gators. Goblins, yeah.
They, weirdly, are not too keen on flying the Gators.
Oh, gators. I knew they were called something with a G.
Well, there were goblins and there were gators.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're also Gorgons.
I need
This
to
makes
talk
it
to
confusing.
whoever designed this game about how I can't have more than one thing start with the same letter.
Yeah. On
you-
the plus
you'd actually-
side, they also had Corvettes and not Gorvettes.
I want to talk to them about renaming them Gorvettes, though, because that sounds amazing.
So,
So for the ones that we've converted to our side, should we call them hobgoblins
Yes.
or hobgators or
Crocodiles.
crocodiles?
So, Megan, you have a problem with the actual NATO nomenclature for Russian planes because they're
Mhm.
all named after the letter of the class of plane that they are. So,
Why?
the MiGs are called Foxbat, Fulcrum, Foxhound.
Foxbat and Foxhound? What?
The
Foxbat is pretty cool, though.
Flogger, Fishbed, Farmer, Fresco.
These are terrible names.
I don't know. They're starting to grow on me.
Fullback, Fencer. Yeah.
You're just coming up with the words that start with the F.
No, these are all actual NATO designations for Russian planes.
Wow.
I think you're
Tom
muted,
and
John.
Pat is very happy that we made hob crocodiles a thing.
Crocodile.
Yeah, those are all actual names.
I mean, we have blackfish, so that means they'd have to be gobfish and gatorfish.
I like gatorfish.
Yeah, let's go with gatorfish.
Gatorfish sounds good.
You're not going to
Gatorfish.
go with hagfish?
Oh, hagfish!
Silverfish.
Goblin shark.
All right, so why don't you all give me technology rolls?
Wait, before we
no.
take off, I am going to text Callie that I am happy about her getting the job.
Oh,
It's a couple hours later, so that's probably not great.
you're
It's a
busy.
good thing you're text messaging it, because then she can't use an empathy check on it.
Exactly.
Depending on which emojis you use.
I use the wrong emojis. No, I use the right emojis. I say, I'm so happy for you. I rewrite it like 5 times until it sounds sincere.
There's this really cool thing that you can do with the iPhone now where you type a message with a screen reader on, and then you switch to a rotor in the on the touchscreen gestures, and it will identify every word that could be replaced by an emoji and ask you if you want to replace them one at a time.
Nice.
I thought it's all at once. Just boom, emojis.
Emojify.
Hashtag emojify.
But I started using more emojis when I realized that was a thing that existed. I'm like one of those old people that discovers emojis.
You mean awesome and adorable?
Okay, now that Micah has attempted to reach out and repair this growing rift with her wife, can we have those technology rolls, please?
I was trying to put this off for as long as I could.
So was the technology roll for something specific?
It is for sensors.
Okay. I would like to spend a fate point on my high concept skilled pilot that fights for his family's honor, so I could reroll.
Okay.
I got a +2, which is fair.
Would this come into play for danger sense?
Yes.
Okay. No joke. I rolled all pluses, so that's a 6. Catfish is keyed up.
I have a 3.
Yeah, there's a 2 over here.
And we got Marky on the owl.
You mean Marky Fish?
Marky fish.
Are we gonna do something about it, or just let him meow himself out?
Let him meow himself out. He'll
Okay.
get tired eventually.
Poor
Hey, look,
Marky.
he gave up already.
Hooray!
He's a very lazy cat. All right, Catfish. You're just scanning along just like everybody else when you notice that there is a distinct lack of background radiation in one particular spot in the sky.
Ooh, I just realized this fits in with my plain aspect of sensitive passive scanners.
Very good. Now, you can, with that degree of success, home in on the lack of contact and focus your active scanners in that direction. There's a ship out there, and he's just running silent. Like, completely powered down.
Well, if he's completely powered down, he won't have any ship's comms active or anything, presumably.
You could have receivers on, but
True. I'll try to needle cast to the rest of the squadron, so it's instead of like just directly to them, to make sure that he's not the guy that's running silent doesn't pick up at all. Hey, there's a ship that's completely running silent at these coordinates. I'm needle casting so he won't notice in case it's a trap or something like that.
Sounds good.
it looks like he's maintaining position basically at one of the planet's Lagrange points.
So he doesn't have to worry about... He can just stay there indefinitely.
Yeah.
There's no distress beacon or anything like that, so it's... Like, it's not in trouble. And it's at a Lagrange point, so... Like, he's hiding out there. Should we do something about them?
I think we should investigate. It could be someone spying on us. We need to... That's the sort of thing we're supposed to look out for.
Would there be a documented method to handle this situation?
Rules of engagement would be to try to neutralize the or prevent them from escaping. You're operating at your discretion right now.
Okay, so I was like, maybe we should just disable their engines.
I think
Perhaps
that sounds like
one
a
of
good
us-
plan.
Perhaps one of us should move to, try to hem him in. So you get a as much of a flanking position as you can get in space.
Yeah, we sweep out to surround them, so no matter which way they bolt, they'll be able. One of us will be able to take the engines out.
All right. There's just about enough of you to do an englobing maneuver. So, who wants to give me a tactics roll to position everybody?
I can do that. And I mean, or Micah, I guess. I have 3 tactics.
I have the same. Why don't you do
So
it?
do I. We're a tactically sound group.
I have a 1 in tactics, which is fitting.
Makes sense. Why don't you go ahead, Mai Tai?
Okay. I rolled blank, so I have 3.
All right. So this is going to be a bit more complicated because they do see you coming, but they can't quite get away. They are going to fire up their maneuvering thrusters and sort of pivot the ship and then light off their main drives.
Are we going into combat then?
No, you don't have to go into combat because this is a sluggish freighter. Give me piloting rolls.
Okay.
I am actually better at tactics than I am at piloting.
Will Mike the player's devil's own luck run out? Kind of. -1 on the dice, so that's a fair +2.
Superb.
All right.
That's a 5 from me. I have applicable aspects, but I don't know if I need more than a 5.
Okay, so 2 5s. Well, it seems like there's a pattern here. Micah and Luzette rocket ahead. So whichever way he turns, he's going to run into one of your firing arcs. Are you just going to shoot him down, or are you going to call him on the? Are you going to try to call for his surrender?
I will call him.
All right, give me a provoke roll.
Oh man, can I do rapport?
I'll give you a provoke with a boost.
The boost gives me a +2.
Yep.
That gives me a total of +3.
All right. Well, they rolled a 2. What are you saying?
Hello, unnamed vessel. This is Micah Drexler of Tachyon Squadron. We're gonna need you to surrender and head back towards the station with us.
Wow, that was casual.
I was trying to say actual words that made sense for me being a fighter pilot who knew what they were doing.
All right. You inject a little more menace into it.
Or we'll kill you. Is that better?
That's so adorable. They light off their secondary engines, and it's not really the response you were hoping for, but it does lead to the result you were after as they blow out the reactor.
Oh, too much power draw kind of thing?
Yep.
Oh, you flooded the engine.
Oh, the spark plugs are gonna need to be drained.
So, I mean, is the ship still intact?
Yes.
I don't think we have any way to tow ships, do we? Would we?
No, you don't have the ability to tow ships. You could dock with it.
If he ejects, we could just take him in the little rescue pods.
The cargo.
It looks like the crew does punch out in their escape pod.
All right, let's catch that.
All right. Everybody give me a technology roll.
Oh.
Catfish, danger sense would apply.
Oh, thank the maker. Okay.
I have a plus
Ooh.
5.
Plus
Oof.
1.
Thanks to Danger Sense, that's a +1.
I rolled 4 plus 1.
Wow.
I've never rolled all positives.
So are we trying to rescue them?
It sounds like you were going to try to angle in on him. At least Micah was.
Mhm.
And yet again, I'm going to give you a fate point, Lucette, just because this seems so dramatically appropriate that you have your skipper's 6. Once again, you spot the energy spike in the escape pod's power cells.
It's a trap.
Oh.
So the plus 6 didn't pick that up?
I'll pull
What do you-
away.
No, she was closer, is the thing.
Oh, okay. No, that's true. Okay.
All right. The
Would
The pod-
shooting it destroy it before it actually overloaded?
she banks out of the way and the pod does explode.
Okay.
For your plus 6, you get something a little extra, which is really unsettling. There are people on that escape pod.
Oh.
Is it just the one escape pod?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll inform them that I was picking up people on that escape pod.
Wait, so, like, they launched out and then they triggered a self-destruct?
Yeah, I should wait for us to talk with them.
What the hell are these people doing?
Mahal, you're able to piece things together. What you're picking up was the emissions from their life support system and some other incidentals that allow you to conclude that there actually were life signs on that pod. The other thing that was notable about it was that it was broadcasting a distress signal.
Right. Are they framing us?
No.
Well, that's good.
They were talking to you. They were saying, we'll deal. We'll do whatever. We'll just...
And then it exploded?
And then it exploded.
Oh. They were... Somebody else set that explosive off to keep them from talking.
Yes. Their message, though, gets to you at the same time that the light from the exploding escape pod does.
So would I have picked up a secondary signal going towards the escape pod?
Yes, it came from the ship.
Okay, so whoever detonated it was on the ship, so... Should we board this ship? Or should someone?
You could.
I don't want to tell Micah what to do since she's in charge. I'm asking.
I don't think we come out here with, like, sidearms, do we?
You do.
I mean, or we could try using... I assume the Blackfish have not just torpedoes, but like a machine gun sort of thing.
Yeah, you have your blaster cannons.
If we could just try damaging the power plant of the ship further and just wait till they have to eject.
Oh no, the ship has lost all power. I mean, that's why they punched out.
Oh.
But the ship still blew them up? Because
You
you
don't
said
know.
the signal from for the explosion came from the ship.
The
Could have been
signal
a
from the
private
ship.
device.
Yes, the signal to detonate the escape pod came from the ship. The ship itself, its reactor is gone. It doesn't have any more power to move the ship forward.
So might use their iPad to set it off.
Are there any more
secondary
signs of
power,
life on
yeah.
the ship?
None.
Okay.
So they have life support going, but that's about it, kind of thing.
There's no life support on that ship.
Yeah. If someone remotely detonated the escape pod from somewhere else through the ship.
Yeah, probably a relay of some sort.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it could have just been set to detonate on a timer or from something on a ship, and they just weren't informed that it was there.
Come a trap set on the escape pod, maybe. It's
Right.
like, yeah, you're not really ejecting, guys. You just think you are.
Right.
I
They probably
mean,
were hoping we'll kill the people we sent to spy, and if we get lucky, someone will try to help them, and we'll blow up one of their ships.
I mean, this ship was running completely silent. It's just pure blind luck that I noticed it in the first place.
Right.
The fact
but
that
they're-
they got exploded for being here, I mean, I'd be worried that the rest of the ship would be booby trapped also. But like, I wouldn't be surprised if this is if this is being used as a scout ship of some sort, even though it's like just a big dumb cargo hauler. That's probably just so it doesn't get not necessarily noticed as easily.
Well, we need to do something with the ship. What will we be doing with the ship? Calling for it to be towed, or
I think we should call for it to be toted.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel safe with any of us going onto the ship, especially if they were able to, from whatever reason, remote detonate the escape pod. If the escape pod was wired to blow, the rest of this thing is probably wired to blow.
Which is why I'm concerned about bringing it to the station.
That's what Marines are for.
Yeah. We're not Marines.
I just don't want to have like, oh, let's just dock it to the station and then it explodes part of the station is my concern.
I think
That's someone else's decision.
Like,
yeah, we
We-
can have
we
the
can-
Marines board it out here or tow it, but people who are more capable of handling any problems that are on it should be doing it, not us.
well, I'm sure there's some sort of protocol, so there's no need for a discussion.
All right. So you can phone back to the bar, and they'll scramble a company of Marines to investigate.
All right. I guess we'll hang out here till they get here, and if they don't need us to watch their backs, we'll finish our loop.
All right. A couple of flights from Tachyon Squadron will come along to provide support.
Any chance of getting some kind of salvage team out here with like a spatula or like a strainer to try sifting through what was left of that shuttle?
We could get like a name tag.
Got it covered, one of the pilots will say. You guys just head on home. There's a salvage tug inbound.
Roger that.
Yeah, copy that. Oh, I hate the friggin' Dominion.
All right, we'll head home.
All right. So, you guys do not get to paint part of a freighter on your ships, but you are credited with detecting a probable threat to Dracona Station.
Huzzah!
Yay.
Has Callie texted me back yet?
Yes. She is very glad to hear that you thought that, and she is hoping that you'll be able to spend some more time together tonight.
Eggplant emoji, sweat emoji, eyes emoji.
There's at least one peach emoji in there.
Yeah, I'm feeling mostly peaches.
All right. Mahao, are you going to invest the funds to make these three people look not like they do right now.
I look great.
I was gonna say these three miscreants, but really Barry is the only real miscreant. Well, I guess Zombie's a bit of a miscreant.
I have my dress uniform.
Yeah, Micah is probably actually okay. And I think Lucette, being someone who worked corporate security, probably
It's like
cleans up
passable.
nicely.
It's like wearing like a regular suit to like a really formal dinner. It's like, oh, you're still a little underdressed. It's like formal enough, but still kind of cheap, you know.
Yeah, I figure Barry's the only person I have to drag somewhere so he doesn't look like a sleazy criminal.
Really, I want a costume montage. Is what I want. I'm big on the costume montage.
Yeah, I don't know enough about fashion to do a costume montage, but I'll engage. Like, yes, I'm spending the money. Make it so.
Right before the montage starts, Barry says, I mean, I already have a denim tuxedo.
Then I try to kill him with my stare. Doesn't work. But then the montage starts.
Yeah, Barry definitely shrinks in on himself and goes like, yeah, you're the boss for this. Oh boy.
Yeah. And
he
so,
is,
of course, it's like the hideous outfits that Barry tries to pick out. And I like, no.
You're giving the salespeople money to destroy those.
Never allow those to be in the store again.
Is Micah wearing her like dress black uniform?
Yes.
All right. It is really kind of intimidating to a lot of people that you pass by because, my God, that's a lot of medals.
I took the name tags off. Does that count?
What?
Since I'm not officially part of the
Oh no, you're still entitled. You're quote unquote on leave. You're
all
still
right.
entitled.
So I still gotta wear everything.
You're
All
still
right.
entitled to wear. Yeah, you are still entitled to wear the uniform because you are on leave. But yeah, that's a lot of medals.
Clank.
Before we get to this fancy dinner, Zombie is going to wire some of her paycheck home to her mother and inform her that she's some kind of policeman now.
That causes uproarious laughter in the Forrester household.
Because they've met her.
Hey, Mom, I'm kind of a cop now, question mark?
I'm a fighter pilot cop.
Wow.
I didn't know it was a thing.
Oh,
You're
cough
a jag.
gun.
All right, Mahau. You're thinking this can be okay. We can make this work.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was like, we can just get through this dinner. It's possible.
And so you are shown into a lavish suite. There's chamber music and several servants circulating with drinks and finger food as the guests filter in. And then you see your brother, Akuna Iona.
I was not expecting him to be here tonight, so I tried it's like I am as polite as I have to be.
All right, so you're approaching him. He's talking to someone else, and as you get closer, that someone else turns around and smiles at you, and you have no choice but to accept the outstretched hand of Joe Freeman.
Oh.
And I do that. And like it's like I'm not good at showing. It's like I'm good at not be looking happy, but I'm not very good at not looking unhappy.
You're not good at stonewalling.
Right.
And we're going to call it a night there.
Oh, no.
I hate you, Barry, so much.
I've got one question, John.
Yeah.
Is your brother cute?
I assume he is one of the youngest members of the council of the Shinzo Mizu, and so yes, probably.
He has money. That works.
Yeah, let me answer that with he's rich.
That's fair. Excellent.
So we hope you enjoyed watching and or listening. And until next time, this is TRF signing off.
No, we're not TRF.
Oh, this is Gold Wings, Black Skies, part of the TRF network, signing off.
Wait, what Mike has to do is plug now.
Yes.
Oh,
but before we go, a special word from Mike.
Hi, everyone. This is more specifically for the Twitch viewers and the people watching the YouTube right now. More specifically for the YouTube, if you're watching this before the week of November 9th or during the week of November 9th, there is a fundraiser going on in Victoria, BC, done by the fine folks at Loading Ready Run, known as Desert Bus for Hope, where they literally play the worst video game known to mankind, Desert Bus, where you have to drive a bus on the Sega CD platform in real time between Tucson, Arizona and Las Vegas, Nevada, there and back. The bus lists to the side, so you always have to be controlling it. They do this for charity. They're doing this for the Child's Play charity to raise funds for video games and games in general for kids in hospitals. And it would be awesome if you guys donate, basically. It's a really good cause, and they've done this for over a decade, and they somehow make it even more entertaining each year of them playing this miserable game and counting how many bus stops they actually manage to stop for and how many times people crash. And just, it's great. Since they've been doing this for over a decade, this year may be the year that they crack the $5 million donated mark. So, yeah. Desert Bus for Hope. It's an actual good cause.
No.
Because just because Barry's a space bastard doesn't mean that Mike is.
I've got to ask, was this game created specifically as an enhanced interrogation technique for the CIA?
I know the origin of this game. I can tell you.
Oh no.
It was designed by comic magicians Penn and Teller as part of a series of games called Smoke and Mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sort of a parody of people who push for realism in games. It's like, all right, here's the realist game. You're a bus driver driving a real-ass bus across the desert. And it is just gritty and real, like reality. And that reality is miserable and boring, and everyone hates it.
That's great.
At the
Like
the other end of that
bus
spectrum,
crashes?
I introduce into evidence Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Right. If you crash the bus, as I recall, a tow truck comes eventually and tows you back to start in real time.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Acer,
And-
question from the chat. Did you make this game?
I can only aspire to such greatness. Who asked that question?
Bernie.
And so sometimes, because it's in of itself an extremely simple game, because you just have to keep pressing A to make sure that you keep the speed up, but you don't drift over too much. Sometimes they have challenge modes where they have to play it with their feet or upside down, or one time they did it with their hands dipped in Vaseline.
Oh, no.
Because they're doing it for charity, and what better part of a charity stream is than to watch people suffer for charity?
If you
That
make a
is what
full
charity
loop in
streams
the
are all
game,
about.
Yes,
if you make a full
absolutely.
loop in the
Masochism to
game,
help.
you get a whole point.
What?
If you make a full loop in the game, you get 1 point.
Yep. And then you do it again.
Oh my God.
This is awesome. That's
I
terrific.
don't know what the
Heard of
objective
this.
number is, or if there is one, but like you have to do this lap hundreds of times and maybe get to an end.
Yep. And so they also do this basically for a week solid. They have enough people taking part and volunteering for it that they have different shifts that come on to be drivers to make sure that it can be happening continuously. And they usually go for a week, essentially a week solid of doing just this.
This is my new favorite thing.
It is wonderful and
Masochism?
horrific.
That's not new. Oh my God.
Sorry, what was that, John?
I was like, masochism isn't new, Acer.
Oh. Now I have to cut him off with a Delta Green equivalent.
Oh, no.
You don't have to.
No, I have to.
I'm going to pass on that particular one.
It's prepare for 4 hours of you manning the TSA checkpoint at
I mean,
like
we already
Reagan
did
National
that.
Airport.
We already did that. We did like 45 episodes of Pathfinder.
We did like 60 episodes of Pathfinder.
Ow! Oh, and with that, I think we are done for tonight. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night,
Have
everybody.
a good night, everyone. Thank you very much.
And we can stop recording if you haven't already.